The text came through at 2:37 p.m. on a Thursday. I stared at my phone screen in the pediatrician's waiting room, my daughter Mia balanced on my hip, running a 102-degree fever. "Honey, we're so sorry. We can't make it to Mia's birthday party this weekend. Money's really tight right now. Hope you understand. Love, Mom." The worst part wasn't the cancellation. It was what I'd discovered exactly 7 days later, standing in the doorway of Bella Notte, the most expensive Italian restaurant in our city, watching my parents toast with $200 bottles of wine. Let me back up. My parents and I had always been close. Sunday dinners, holidays together, grandparent sleepovers. When I got pregnant with Mia 5 years ago, Mom cried happy tears and immediately started knitting baby blankets. But things shifted after my divorce 2 years back. Nothing dramatic, just subtle comments about my situation, suggestions that maybe I should have tried harder, questions about whether I could really manage alone. Still, they showed up, birthday cards with $50 checks, FaceTime calls with Mia every Wednesday evening, the occasional dinner where Dad would slip me $200 for groceries despite my protests. So, when Mia's 6th birthday approached, I planned carefully. Nothing extravagant, just a small party at our apartment. Homemade cake, dollar store decorations, pizza from the cheap place down the street. I'd invited 12 people total. My parents, my sister Bridget, 3 of Mia's little friends from school, and their parents. Total cost, maybe $150. Saved for over 3 months. Then came that text message. I read it 3 times, Mia's hot little body pressed against mine, her breath wheezing slightly. "Money's really tight right now." My father had just retired from a 40-year career as an engineer. Mom worked part-time at a bookstore because she loved it, not because she needed to. They owned their house outright. Dad's retirement fund was something he'd mentioned proudly at Christmas. Very comfortable, he'd said. But okay, maybe something had happened. Unexpected medical bills, house repairs. I wasn't going to judge. I texted back, "Of course, no worries. I hope everything's okay financially. Let me know if I can help somehow." Mom's response came immediately. "You're sweet. We'll make it up to Mia. Just need to be careful right now." That Friday evening, my best friend Keiko came over. Mia was finally feeling better, playing with blocks in the corner while Keiko and I folded laundry on my couch. "So Mom and Dad aren't coming to the party," I mentioned casually. Keiko's hands still on a tiny purple shirt. "What? Why?" "Money troubles, apparently." "Your parents?" Keiko's eyebrows shot up. She'd known my family for 12 years. The ones who just redid their entire kitchen? "That was last year. Things change." Keiko's tone was careful. Too careful. "What?" "Nothing. Just, okay, don't get mad." My stomach dropped. "What?" "Brooke posted something on social media yesterday. A picture of your mom. At some fancy tea place downtown." The floor tilted slightly. I tried to let it go. Really, I did. But Saturday morning, I found myself scrolling through social media. My mother rarely posted. She was barely on these platforms, but I checked my sister Bridget's account. Nothing recent. Then I checked Brooke's profile. My cousin Brooke, who I hadn't seen in months. There, posted 36 hours ago, a photo of an ornate 3-tiered serving tray loaded with tiny sandwiches, scones, and pastries. The caption read, "Birthday tea party for my amazing mom. Blessed by family time." In the background, slightly blurred but unmistakable, my mother, wearing the blue cashmere sweater I'd given her for Christmas. I zoomed in. The restaurant logo was visible on a menu in the corner, Rosewood Tea Room. I'd looked at their website once when considering Mother's Day options. Afternoon tea service, $85 per person. I counted heads in the photo. 12 people. My hands were shaking. That evening, Mia's party happened. Her little friends came. We sang Happy Birthday off-key. She blew out 6 candles shaped like flowers. She didn't ask where Nana and Pop-Pop were, and I was grateful. Keiko stayed late, helping me clean up paper plates and deflated balloons. "Are you doing okay?" she asked quietly. "I don't understand," I whispered. "If money's so tight they can't come to their granddaughter's birthday party, how are they spending money on fancy tea parties?" Maybe your aunt paid. Maybe. But my voice sounded hollow even to myself. Tuesday afternoon, exactly 1 week after that text message, I had to drop off some documents at the accountant's office downtown. The same accountant my parents used. They'd recommended her years ago. I was walking back to my car, Mia strapped in her stroller, when I saw it. Bella Notte, the Italian restaurant with the literal chandelier visible through the window. The one that required reservations weeks in advance. The one with valet parking and a dress code. And standing under the burgundy awning, laughing, champagne flutes in hand during some kind of outdoor reception, were my parents. I stopped walking, literally froze on the sidewalk. There was my mother in a navy dress I'd never seen before. My father is in a suit, and surrounding them, Bridget and her husband, my Uncle Frank and Aunt Patricia, Brooke and her husband, my cousins Genevieve and Fiona with their partners, approximately 20 people total, all dressed up, all clearly celebrating something. A man in a server's uniform passed by carrying a tray of shrimp cocktails. Mia tugged at my hand. "Mommy, why did we stop?" I couldn't speak, couldn't move. Then my sister Bridget turned, saw me. Her face went completely white. Bridget said something to our mother. Mom's head whipped around. For 3 seconds, we made eye contact across 30 feet of sidewalk. Then Mom smiled. Actually smiled and waved. Like this was normal. Like I was supposed to wave back and keep walking. Something snapped inside me. I pushed Mia's stroller across the street, my heart hammering against my ribs. As I got closer, I could see the setup more clearly. A private event, semi-outdoor seating in Bella Notte's courtyard, white tablecloths, elaborate floral centerpieces. "Sweetheart!" Mom's voice was bright. Too bright. "What a surprise! What are you doing downtown?" "Accountant appointment." My voice came out flat. "What's this?" "Oh, it's Aunt Patricia's birthday. Last-minute thing. Frank insisted on throwing her a party." I looked at the setup, the champagne, the shrimp, the elaborate floral arrangements that probably cost more than my monthly grocery budget. "Last minute," I repeated. "Yes, just came together this week. This week, the same week you texted me that money was too tight to come to your granddaughter's 6th birthday party." The smile froze on Mom's face. My sister Bridget stepped forward. "Hey, Mia, want to see the pretty flowers?" "No." I didn't look at Bridget, kept my eyes on Mom. "How much is this costing?" "That's not—" "How much?" My father appeared, his hand on Mom's elbow. "Let's not do this here." "Do what? Ask questions?" "I'm just curious, Dad. Ballpark figure. What does a party like this cost?" Silence. Around us, relatives I hadn't seen in months, some of whom had been at that tea party, were very carefully not looking in our direction. "A few thousand," Dad finally said. "But Frank is splitting." "A few thousand. For Aunt Patricia's birthday." I heard my voice rising and couldn't stop it. "But you couldn't come to Mia's party because money was really tight right now." "You don't understand. Then explain it to me." Mom's face flushed. "Your party was on the same day as this. We had already committed." "Your text said money was tight, not that you had a scheduling conflict. You specifically said you couldn't afford it." "We didn't say we couldn't afford—" "Money's really tight right now." That's a direct quote. Aunt Patricia approached, her expression uncomfortable. "Maybe we should—" "How much did that tea party cost?" I asked, looking at Brooke. "The one 5 days before my text? The one where Mom was in the background?" Brooke's face went red. "That was $85 per person minimum. I checked the website. 12 people. That's over $1,000. "Honey," Mom said, her voice taking on that pleading tone I knew too well. "You're making a scene." "I'm making a scene? I planned a pizza party for my daughter, saved for 3 months. I invited 12 people, and you lied to me about why you couldn't come." "We didn't lie," Dad said sharply. "We said things were tight, and they are. Relatively speaking." "Relatively speaking." I laughed, and it came out bitter. "Do you know what my food budget is right now? $230 a month for me and Mia. That's it. $7.67 per day. and I saved $50 from that to make sure there was enough pizza at her party. Mom's eyes filled with tears. We didn't know. Because you never ask. You never come over anymore. You do video calls with Mia on Wednesdays for 15 minutes where you ask if she's being good and what she learned in school, and that's it. You have no idea what our life actually looks like. That's not fair, Bridget interjected. Mom and Dad do a lot for you. Like what? I turned to my sister. The $50 birthday checks? The $200 Dad slips me every few months that he makes me feel guilty for accepting? That's a lot? They paid for your wedding, Bridget shot back. 7 years ago, and I'm grateful, but that doesn't give them the right to lie to me now. We didn't lie, Mom's voice cracked. Things are tight. Do you know what our property taxes went up to this year? What our insurance costs? Just because we can afford some family gatherings doesn't mean some family gatherings, just not the ones that include me and Mia. The words hung in the air. Dad's jaw tightened. That's not what this is about. Then what is it about? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you don't want to come to a party in my cramped apartment with dollar store decorations and cheap pizza, but you'll show up here, dressed up for champagne and shrimp cocktails with everyone else. Your apartment is 45 minutes away, Mom said quietly. There it was. And this restaurant is? I waited. 20 minutes, Bridget said reluctantly. 20 minutes from your house, but 45 minutes to see your granddaughter is too much. Got it. It's not about the distance, Dad said, but his voice lacked conviction. Then what? Say it. Just say whatever it is you've been thinking since my divorce. Mom's tears were flowing now. We worry about you, about whether you're making good choices, whether you're being responsible. Responsible. The word tasted like ash. I work 40 hours a week at a job I hate to keep health insurance for Mia. I cook every meal from scratch because it's cheaper. I haven't bought myself new clothes in 18 months. I budget down to the dollar. And you think I'm irresponsible? You chose to leave him, Bridget said, her voice hard. I stared at my sister. He cheated on me, 4 times that I know of. You could have gone to counseling? We did, for 8 months. He kept cheating. Bridget's mouth opened, then closed. You didn't tell us that, Mom whispered. I told you he cheated. You said marriages go through rough patches, that I should think about what was best for Mia. You didn't ask for details, so I didn't give them. Dad's face had gone pale. 4 times? That I found out about. Could be more. Silence. Even the relatives who'd been pretending not to listen had gone quiet. But I'm irresponsible, I continued, my voice shaking now, for leaving, for struggling financially as a single mom, for not being able to afford the life you think I should have. So you don't want to come to my apartment. I don't want to see how I actually live. Don't want to eat cheap pizza with a bunch of 6-year-olds. Because it's uncomfortable. Because it reminds you that your daughter isn't living up to whatever standard you set. That's not, Mom started. Yes, it is. And you know what the really messed up part is? I would have understood a scheduling conflict. If you'd said, we already committed to Aunt Patricia's party, can we take Mia out for ice cream the next day? I would have said yes, Mia would have been happy. But instead, you lied. You made it about money. You made me feel guilty for even having the party. You made me feel like I was being unreasonable for wanting you there. I looked down at Mia, who had gone very quiet in her stroller, her little face confused and worried. Come on, baby, I said softly. Let's go home. Wait, Mom reached out. Please, can we talk about this? Why? So can you explain how I'm overreacting? How I don't understand? How things are more complicated than they seem? I shook my head. I understand perfectly now. I started to push the stroller away, then stopped. Turned back. You want to know what Mia did at her party? She made a wish when she blew out her candles. Then she told me what it was, even though wishes are supposed to be secret. She said she wished Nana and Pop-Pop would come. That was her birthday wish. Not a toy, not a trip to the zoo. She wished her grandparents would show up. Mom's sob was audible. But they were here, at a $5,000 party for someone who sees them twice a year, because money was tight. This time, when I walked away, no one stopped me. That was 3 months ago. My parents have called 47 times. I counted. I answered exactly once, 2 weeks after the incident, when Dad called from the hospital. Mom had a panic attack and they wanted me to know. I said I hoped she felt better and hung up. They've texted countless times. Apologies, explanations, requests to talk, requests to see Mia. Bridget showed up at my apartment once, unannounced. I opened the door, saw her on the doorstep, and said, "Unless you're here to tell me you understand why I'm hurt and that you're not going to defend them, we have nothing to talk about." She started to speak. I closed the door. Last week, a letter came. Handwritten, from Mom. 6 pages. In it, she admitted things I'd never heard before. How they'd felt embarrassed about my divorce, worried what their friends would think. How they'd fallen into a pattern of keeping me at arm's length because seeing me struggle made them feel like they'd failed as parents. How they'd convinced themselves they were helping by giving me space and money instead of showing up. How they'd realized too late that they'd been choosing comfort over connection. She wrote, "I've been going to therapy, learning things about myself I don't like. Your father, too. We can't undo what we did, but we want to try to understand why we did it. Not to make excuses, just to be better." The letter ended. "I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect you to let us back in. But I need you to know, we were wrong. Completely, utterly wrong. You are the strongest, most responsible, most loving person I know. And we failed you and Mia when you needed us most. I'm sorry isn't enough, but it's where we have to start. I'm so, so sorry." I've read that letter probably 20 times. Yesterday, Mia asked if Nana and Pop Pop were coming to her school play next month. "I don't know, baby," I said honestly. "Did they forget about us?" My heart cracked. "No, never. We're just taking some time apart right now." "Because they went to that fancy party instead of my birthday?" Kids hear everything, even when you think they don't. "Yeah, kind of." "Are you still mad?" I thought about it, really thought. "I'm hurt more than mad." "Do you think you'll stop being hurt?" "Eventually, it just takes time." She nodded solemnly, like she understood. Maybe she did, in her own way. This morning I did something I haven't done in 3 months. I picked up my phone and typed a message to Mom. "Thank you for your letter. I'm not ready to see you yet." But I read it. "I'm glad you're in therapy. I'm in therapy too now. Maybe someday we can talk." But not yet. The response came 5 minutes later. "Whenever you're ready. We love you. We love Mia. We'll wait. I don't know if we'll get past this. I don't know if our relationship will ever look like it did before. Honestly, I'm not sure I want it to." That version was built on unspoken conditions and unexamined judgments. But maybe, eventually, we can build something different. Something more honest. Because here's what I've learned. You can't love someone conditionally and call it family. You can't choose comfort over showing up. You can't prioritize how things look over how they actually are. And if you do, if you choose appearances over presence, convenience over commitment, eventually you'll look up and realize you've missed the moments that actually mattered. The homemade cake, the dollar store decorations, the 6 candles shaped like flowers, the birthday wish that never came true. If you've experienced something similar, feeling excluded or deprioritized by family, know this. Your hurt is valid, your boundaries are valid, and choosing yourself and your child isn't selfish. Sometimes it's the bravest thing you can do.